So thank you very much for this opportunity. As you mentioned earlier in your presentation that, the word yoga comes from union, and therefore it is a union of the soul with the universe. And therefore, this whole thing that we think about yoga as being physical is absolutely wrong. It has to be physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And this is really where the connection with homeopathy comes, because homeopathy too was, very similar to what yoga used to be a few years ago, because it was, practiced by almost anybody. There were no laws and regulations, and therefore it kind of, was, perceived as being a quack medicine, which after being recognized in more than 175 countries today is the second largest system of medicine in the world. And therefore, I believe that the first thing that we need to do as yogis, is to make sure that we get recognition for this system of medicine in all the health, kind of ministries. That's the first thing I think that we need to do. Second thing is that we also need to make sure that we educate our, there's a kind of a training program, and all the yogic experts are actually registered well. Because, when you are not registering it well, when there are unregistered people practicing, then there's a lot of things happening all over the world. And then there's a lot of commercialization of yoga that happens. As somebody already mentioned earlier, I'm not going to go into that, about holistic medicine, mind and body medicine, psychosomatic medicine, which is also what homeopathy is all about. And so is yoga. But the important thing about yoga is that it's a complementary system of medicine, and it can go very, very well with every system of medicine. And therefore, I believe that to integrate yoga into schools in terms of training, as part of education, to introduce yoga in hospitals with as part at least an OPD, kind of a department, I think is very important. Also important is that we make sure that we create an awareness for yoga much more as compared to what we have today. Today, the awareness is there, but it's all mixed. I think key messaging that yoga is holistic, that yoga is not just exercise, but it's also meditation. It's balancing your whole system, and therefore it's very important in today's world, whether it's physical or mental problem. As a doctor, let me end by actually giving you some research examples of how yoga can help. So today a lot of the problems that come up in the world are because of NCDs, which are non-communicable disorders, and a lot of these are lifestyle disorders, and these are things which can really, really be helped by yoga, and they can be used as an adjunct medicine. And I would really plead that bring down health costs all over the world if you're using yoga in every therapy and every treatment that we do. So of course, for prevention, yoga is good, but also for treatment and for curative results, going from the root of the problem, yoga is very, very useful. Let me give you some examples. Hypertension. Do you know that research conducted in America showed that by using yoga, 4 millimeters of mercury, the systolic blood pressure, which is the lower reading, went down 4 millimeters. That's a lot. Similarly, in case of cardiac patients, after 8 weeks of yoga, there was a decrease in 43% of heart ailments. Can you imagine? And in cases of asthma, there was really, really, again, a lot of results and achievement in the reduction of asthma. Over 40% of asthmatic patients did away with their inhalers after they were put through a few weeks of a yoga program. So using yoga for therapeutics, using yoga for actually dealing with today's ailments is what I suggest. And of course, people have already spoken about the medical, the emotional part, and also the fact that which is so saying that I think we need to bring yoga out into the open for yoga in terms of public perception. This also in India, as you know that in India there are 150 million people who practice yoga. All over the world it is 300 million. So 50% of the world population of yoga practitioners actually comes from India. And a lot of the things that we do in India is because we've taken it to the public. We have something called Yoga by the Way, Yoga by the Bay in Mumbai, where on the first Sundays of every month, people come on the streets and on Marine Drive, and we're actually, conducting breathing exercise and yoga exercises by the sea. it creates so much of awareness. I think we need to create this awareness. We need to make sure that it's a much stronger, positive awareness about the true yoga. And then I think I need to rest my points over here. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Amarjit Singh ji. Always a pleasure to see you here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for your continued support. Absolutely pleasure to have you with us. I'd like to please take this opportunity of inviting Dr. Vivek Kaulsa. Dr. Vivek ji, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there. I've been called before time.
Kya baat hai, beautiful. Thank you.
I'm happy.
Well, it's a special congratulations to you. A man of vast resources, a man of vast political connections, and torch barrier of all that we stand for. For us, absolutely delight that you could take the time to join us.